Okay. All right. It's recording. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's great to see you again and to see you on video. It's definitely a lot more fun when you can converse and see people. But yeah, it's great to see you. Your place looks great.
Thanks.
Cool. So how are things? Let's catch up. Let me know how it's going in your world.
Yeah. Well, today I had a recording session this morning for this is a Cuban jazz album that I recorded when I lived in Cuba last summer.
Cool.
But it's not my main direction. But I think what I want to do I'm going to release that as it is, just as a little souvenir. But I think I want to repitch it. Like, you know how the trap, they'll like repitch it and slow it down and make it all crazy weird. I want to do that with this jazz EP, or at least one song, and like trick it out. So that's just one thing that I decided I need to finish by the end of the year.
Cool.
And then I have one track I'm working on with Sean, Spiderhound.
Great.
A session to finish it. Well, I don't know if it'll be finished, but to work on it this Thursday. And that one's kind of future bass influence. And then I'm working on this other electronic track called Apollo, and two other songs that are already finished. Apollo's not finished, so I'm trying to, I don't know, finish as much as I can before the end of the year. I have this EP of work, well, not EP, like a collection of 8 or 9 songs that are halfway done, or some are done. You know, there's a spectrum. And I want to finish all these songs by January. It might be too far of a reach because it's a budget thing. Sorry?
That's ambitious. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. Because I want to work on my live performances in the spring. Are you familiar with Alux, Laura Escude?
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So I might work on my live performances with her in the spring. And the goal is to have an album or a handful of singles to release starting next May. And I really want to tour with them in the summer and in the fall. And then at the same time, while I'm working on those, you also passed me some tracks to like write vocal top lines to, or at least practice.
Yeah. Oh.
Just
oh, you glitched out a bit there. Can you repeat the last sentence, please? Uh-oh.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, you're glitching out. I'm gonna just pause Dropbox. I think my connection is pretty good though. I'll just do a speed test here quick. But yeah, run a speed test. If you go to speedtest.net, you can see if your internet is working.
Okay.
Mine's working. Okay, it's gonna temporarily overload my internet connection.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's, yeah, it seems to be where it should be. Yeah. Okay, so my internet's working, so I think it might be on your end. Do you normally have glitches during video stuff?
Not so often, but maybe occasionally.
It seems to have stopped. Oh, I guess we'll see. Okay, so you want to do a live show, and you want to do a tour.
Yeah. So how do I know what to tell you what my speed test is?
Oh, well, it seems to be working now, so let's just cross our fingers that it holds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to get better at songwriting top lines. And I was thinking also about working on those tracks that you passed me. I don't know if it's too late to work on them, but either way, it would be an exercise.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just record, like, because a lot of the times when I record vocalists, right, I'll record them over one instrumental, and then later, you know, sometimes I'll even remake an entirely new instrumental to go with the vocal. So it's kind of like it matters what you're recording over, but it also kind of doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, like a lot of time too, like let's say, like, I mean, this happens a lot with rappers where they'll work on a verse and they'll write it just like in their head or over, you know, one beat, and then they'll come into the studio and there'll be another beat and it'll be a good verse, but it doesn't necessarily like flow around the beat and like work with the particular beat because they just kind of practiced it like with nothing or with some other beat. And then, you know, you can still get a good performance that doesn't necessarily go with the beat, but then usually, I don't know, I'll end up like switching it up. And if we get a really good performance, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll just redo a new instrumental for this performance. But it's kind of like tagging, you know, like you got to work with the architecture to make the graffiti look good. It's the same kind of thing with a beat, you know, like every beat has its own little idiosyncrasies, and the flow might not necessarily, like it might be good enough to get it down, but not necessarily the final thing, you know. But it takes a really experienced vocalist to be able to like tailor their flow for each beat. So usually I end up like just making a new beat. So yeah, record them or whatever, all good.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what's happening on this end.
Cool. How's your recording setup going? Like the actual, do you have any? Because I remember you were set like when we talked about a year ago or whatever. You were setting up your recording setup and everything. You're happy with it? Any snags there?
I moved to a new place, so I don't have a recording area set up. So what I want to, but it's not my priority right now because I'm just trying to like bring in money through teaching and work on songwriting, and then I've just been going to a studio and recording them there.
Cool. Okay.
But it's a goal, but not a priority.
Okay, but you have easy access to the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So it sounds like you've got a big list of things. How are you like organizing your time, and how much free time do you have for this?
I struggle with that.
Yeah,
how much free
a lot to do by the end of the month. That's very ambitious.
Yeah. Well, the Cuban Diaries album, the vocals, they're done. There's like a few little tweaks that my friend is gonna do tomorrow, and then I'm sending them off to get mixed and mastered.
Okay.
Two of the other tracks that are electronic. You know what? So you were giving me feedback for that little secret song, and you're telling me about the bumper sticker hooks.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm working on a collab with that one, and my collaborator, like, he just ran out of time, and like we're just like we'll just keep that as it is, and I'll just keep that idea for new songs because he's not going to go back and fix it, and I can't pay like money to get it done because I'm already paying money to get other things done. So that's what it comes down to.
This stuff gets really expensive super fast, you know.
Yeah. So with that little secret song, it's kind of just staying where it was. I kind of wish we could change it, but I'm just gonna work on new stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that just needs to be mixed and mastered. And there's one other track as well that is done in its current state. It's not like my best song ever, but gonna fix it, and I mean just mix and master and get it out.
Okay, cool. Okay, so for the tour, how are you booking this tour? Like, do you have promoters that you normally work with that are gonna book you, or are you looking for new promoters?
I'm looking for new promoters. I'm wondering if I'm even gonna be ready to tour things.
Yeah. Okay, because I would say like, I mean, it's like I had this problem with my Departures album tour where I basically was planning on Departures being out before the summer last year. And then I had a snag with some of my collaborators and had to pull like 3 tracks off of the album and like remake these tracks because I couldn't use these tracks with a certain collaborator. And so then the album got delayed, but I had all these gigs that were booked, and now all those promoters are like bummed and mad at me and don't want to book me again. So I would say that, you know, like, especially if the releases aren't out and you don't have like a label, like, do you have a label for them?
No, it's more of, you know,
Mhm. Yeah, because I would say like I mean you're definitely welcome to do stuff on the Dojo label. You know, I would really love to release your music, but there's a lot of like final back and forths, you know, and there's going to be a lot of like because I mean, it takes like 20% of the effort to get something 80% of the way, and then the other 80% of the effort to get it the last 20% of the way. And there's this game of inches when you're going from like 95 to like 96 to 97. It's just really fucking demoralizing and shitty. And it takes like, you'll put in a whole day and the track doesn't really sound that different at the end of the day and stuff. And it's like, it's rough, you know? So I would say definitely like, you know, budget for things to take longer than you think, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes to that like game of inches at the end. And then it's really, um, like, I'm also kind of like, I mean, do you have any of the stuff that you can send me now just so that I can check any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you want to paste them in the chat or email me or how you want to do it?
Oh,
Okay, cool. All right, so then I'm gonna get my headphones on here and deactivate the. Okay, cool. Now I can go into studio sound quality mode on that. Boop. Okay, cool. So yeah, so you can either paste the links into the chat or you can email me them.
I would have to maybe we transfer something because
yeah, that's fine.
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's not. It would take me a minute to do this. Is that the best use of our time?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I definitely like. I really want to help you to get. It's just hard for me to know because like a lot of the time, you know, I mean, I think it takes like a really optimistic kind of attitude to be an artist, you know, and you got to kind of be a habitual overcommitter and be really ambitious and all this stuff. And those are all great characteristics. And I'm that way. I'm always like, oh yeah, I can do that in 3 days, piece of cake. And then I'm always like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Fuck, just like drinking coffee at midnight, like hating life. And you know, that's a part of it, but um, you know, I'm just worried that you're setting like because you know there's like this live show and the tour and all these things in this kind of fairly compressed timeline. I'm worried that you might be setting yourself up for some fucking serious stress when maybe if you just gave yourself a little longer, it wouldn't be so bad.
Okay, so like the following year.
Yeah, I don't know about the following year, but like, you know, the finishing process takes a long time. When you're releasing stuff, you need to like come up with a marketing plan and a press plan. Um,
Yeah.
what are your socials looking like? Like how what kind of numbers are you doing on your socials?
What Instagram? It's like around
Oh,
4,000.
that's pretty good.
Facebook, like 2.5, like 2,500. Oops.
Cool. How
I'm
about
trying to also
SoundCloud?
send these. Not big,
Okay.
like under 100.
Yeah, because promoters normally check like Facebook is a good kind of gauge of people's general popularity, but it's very hard to actually reach people on Facebook because they fucking throttle you like crazy and try and make you pay tons of money. So
I was thinking of launching
promoter
Facebook ads. Yeah.
promoters are looking at Facebook and they'll definitely be like if you're working with a promoter who's got their shit together, they'll probably be doing some ad buys targeting your Facebook audience. But if the promoter is not willing to pony up the cash to do ad buys, Facebook is kind of useless. And then like the best Instagram is a really good gauge of how easily you're going to be able to reach people for you to do kind of organic promotion and for you to promote the show. And then if SoundCloud is usually the best one for gauging actual ticket sales.
Mm.
So when promoters are looking at that, that's kind of what they're looking for. Like Facebook is, or Instagram is like how much you're going to be able to reach the people that follow you, but SoundCloud is kind of like probably the most accurate predictor of how many people are going to be willing to actually like buy a ticket. So I
Okay.
would say that you need to get SoundCloud to at least a couple thousand before you start thinking of a tour.
Okay.
And then for to do that, I would recommend that you use toneden.io, toneden.io, and you can create what's known as like a follow gate or an unlock campaign where you have a track that people want and then you offer it as a free download in exchange for them following you on SoundCloud,
Cool.
right? And then yeah, and then when you have tracks that people like, usually they're like, oh hey, I'll follow you on SoundCloud. But it's also like it's really good to just ask people to follow you on SoundCloud in the description. Just be like, hey, this is this track. I worked really hard on it. If you support my music, please follow me on SoundCloud and repost my track. Thank you. I love you. You're the best fans ever. Yay. All that kind of stuff. Make them feel
Yeah.
good about supporting
Hey,
you. So,
yeah.
so you can try and like make them do it with the follow to download, but a lot of the time just asking them to do it is good. And I don't know
Okay.
if you've ever like I don't know if you've ever checked out like Amanda Palmer,
Yeah,
but
I'm on her Patreon, so I can follow her.
yeah, she's really good at asking people to do stuff without coming off as annoying or demanding or whatever. And she has this book, I think it's called The Art of Asking.
I've
Um,
read it,
but yeah,
and I want to read it again.
it's really important to just like ask people to do what you want. And right now, you definitely like you got to get those SoundCloud numbers up because promoters are fully judging you on that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
And then they're also going to be wanting like, I think you had some pretty good press photos if I recall. But
Hmm.
have you had branding done?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You can do some more.
Where can I see it? Is it on your SoundCloud?
Well, you see it at like maryalouette.com.
Okay. Yeah, I remember your website's pretty tight.
So I mean, all I'm saying is I could transfer images and the vibe over.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, your website's really nice.
Thanks.
It looks very pro. Where can I see the branding on the about page, maybe?
What do you mean by branding? Like what
Like
photos?
where like no like your actual branding, like your name in created by a graphic designer.
Like a logo? I don't have one. I had
Yeah.
one for
Okay.
Alarke, and I even have a website for that, still alark.com. And I was also thinking of
Yeah,
like,
I
what
remember
about
Alarke.
using that
Alarke
name?
looks really good, and I like the name, and it's short and it's nice. And I remember the website being pretty good too. Yeah, and
Yeah,
you have Alarke branding. Yeah, and the
yeah.
Alarke branding is good, and that website's really nice.
So what do you think about, it's been something I've been going back and forth with for so long about like which name am I using, which profile am I using?
Yeah, you really need to settle that before you're booking gigs.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
What do you think about the names? Mary Alouette kind of doesn't feel like genre appropriate.
Yeah, I like Alarke better personally, and you have your branding done as Alarke, and the website's really nice.
All right. Um,
But what about like do you have two separate SoundClouds or you have an Alarke?
I have two separate SoundClouds, two websites, two Facebook
Oh man.
pages.
Yeah,
Too much.
you got to get one. You got to get one to rule them all
I
and have
agree.
all your followers on it. Yeah, I'm already following you. But yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, visually, your game is tight. Um, so that's definitely good. And then, do you have a Mary Alouette SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's about the same. Hmm. Yeah, so you're gonna really need to like pick one of those. I would suggest Alarke. It's like it's short, it's sweet. You've already got a great website. You've already got branding, but you're really gonna need to like make sure all your socials are tight and make sure that everything's like the promoter, because the promoters are that's the first thing they're gonna do when they get the the or the availability offer. They're gonna be like, okay, well, how much, like, what's this person's draw? So I
Yeah,
mean, usually for a tour, for your first couple tours, it's kind of better to be opening for like a bigger artist, so you can kind of poach their fan base.
yeah.
So do you have anyone who who's doing a tour, or anyone who who's like who you have a good enough connection with that you could open for them?
The first thought was Alux. If Laura, if she ever did something close enough, I could do something with her. Um,
Yeah, cause a tour, it's like, I mean, you can do like the scrappy kind of like van tour of the East Coast pretty easily. Everything's like close together and stuff. But
mhm.
if you're gonna do like, cause okay, you know about hard ticket versus soft ticket?
Yeah, hard ticket is the headliner. Soft ticket, your opener, or part
No,
of.
well, no, yeah, I mean, soft tickets definitely, but hard tickets like when they're buying a ticket to see you, and then soft tickets when there's like, like let's say there's like a festival and people are going for the festival, but you're playing at the festival. Or let's say there's like every Wednesday they support X genre of music, and the fans of X genre of music will go on Wednesday to that night. So usually when you're kind of like trying to build up your brand, you'll do a bunch of soft ticket stuff until you get like your social media following to kind of where you want it to be, because live shows are still the best way to get new real fans who are actual fans of your music. Live shows are still definitely the best way. um,
Mhm.
so most of the time when you're trying to like build someone up to do a tour, an agent will have you do like a soft ticket kind of tour first,
Mhm.
before they do a hard ticket tour, or they'll have you open for a bigger artist first before they have you do a hard ticket tour. But I
Mhm.
think like because like doing an album tour, like if you release an album and do a tour for it, that's usually a pretty kind of hard ticket sort of a paradigm. And
Yeah,
I think jumping right into that, you're probably not going to get that much traction at this point.
yeah, that makes sense. Um, I'm just gonna compile. I'll brainstorm on my own later
Cool.
who
Also,
I
I
could open
think
for.
getting remixes from relevant artists is probably a good idea. Like when I was first launching Ill Gates, I was just relentless with the remixes, and I would do these like 8-track remix EPs for like, I do like 3 of them an album, you know, and that really made a big difference. And it's also like once you have tracks where someone's remixed your tracks, you have a pretty kind of strong connection to that artist, and you'll start showing up on, like, let's say someone goes on that artist's Spotify, you'll show up in their relevant connected artists,
Mm.
and you'll show up in the algorithms on SoundCloud. So I think like, when you get this album recorded, it's probably a good idea to just like go out there, call in some favors, really, just get a bunch of remixers who have fans already, to kind of like help you to establish your brand, and to kind of have you show up as a connected artist so that people can kind of organically find you out. Because SoundCloud algorithms, like if I look at SoundCloud, pretty much like at least a third to half of my plays come from the SoundCloud recommended artist algorithm.
This all seems so overwhelming. Yeah, like I don't even know where to start because like I started hiring someone last week to help me with repurposing social media content and do my newsletters and stuff because I teach voice and songwriting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I don't, yeah, know where to start.
Well, I mean, really, like it all kind of starts with getting music done that's just like undeniably awesome. Like that's definitely stage one. Because like the whole kind of thing really depends on, because like let's say you have like a follow to download thing. If people aren't like, I need this track on my hard drive, like if they're like, oh, okay, well, I checked it out on SoundCloud, it's cool, but you need them to be like, I need this track on my hard drive. I want to go through the trouble of uploading it to my phone and iTunes and like have it as my ringtone. Like you need some shit that's like that people are like really excited. So I would say definitely like getting the music to the point where you're like, I'm 100% like fucking behind this,
Yeah.
is
So Dylan, sorry to interrupt. I have a question for you.
yeah.
One of the biggest things that I want out of the dojo, because I was thinking about next year, is like, do I continue with the dojo because it's awesome and I really appreciate everything that your time, you helped me with your time and everything. And then I was looking at it. The opportunities have been awesome to write with Hyro or submit for that, to submit for World of Dance. But then a lot of the dojo stuff is focused on production. I like production. I have some experience with it, but if I'm going to play my strengths, it's going to be singing and songwriting.
Yeah,
so what
sure.
I really need help with is feedback on my songwriting, and I would love to get it like through the dojo because I like the community.
Yeah.
So I'm just seeing how I can become better at writing good tracks. Because also when I'm submitting tracks for feedback, I'm getting a lot of comments on the production, and I'm not even the producer. Like I've been getting lessons from Sean, but then I'm spending $300. I'm like, I could just go spend $300 and hire someone to record me and just get the vocals like tight.
I hear you on that. You know what? I'm gonna make a note here. Yeah, because there's definitely like there's a few people who are approaching it from like a primarily vocal perspective. So I think I'm gonna make a note here. Yeah, because I think if we had someone who was a bit more focused on that, that would be good. You know who's in the dojo who writes really, really amazing vocal songs? He's a great songwriter. Is Daniel Simmons. Do you know him?
Simmons. No, I'll check him out.
Okay, yeah, you should check out his track Guard. But he's like, straight up like pop music. He's kind of does like he's got this like kind of pop punk meets electronic thing happening that's really cool. But he's just like, in terms of songwriting, I have to give him basically like zero feedback every time. Like he just nails it. So he's more coming to me so he can get his production chops up. So I've been training him with production, but you might want to talk to him about songwriting. And I'll put his number in the chat. He, I'm sure, would not mind that, but he would definitely be someone to talk to about that.
What would you suggest I talk to him about?
Just come up and talk to him and just be like, hey, where did you learn how to be such a great songwriter? Can you give me some feedback on some tracks? I owe you one. And he's like a really, really nice guy. And yeah, so I put his number into the chat window for you there.
Got it.
But yeah, if you hit him up, because he's he's really like, each song, it's very, very clear what makes it different from his other songs. He's really like, his arrangements are tight, his melodies are really tight, and he's really good at, like all the songs have their own thing happening. It's not like it's just like there's this thing that I call like the Bjork effect, where someone has like a really good style and then they just get to the point where, like, like Bjork, like her new stuff, she's just kind of making Bjork noises, like where you look at her old songs, they're like songs, whereas the new stuff, it's just, I mean, it sounds interesting, but it's kind of like you're like trying to remember the song and you just remember a bunch of Bjork noises, So,
Yeah.
you know, Daniel has a really good handle on like making each song a separate song, and like they're really like, you know, the arrangements are tight. It's really clear what the song is about. He's like, you know, the flow of the lyrics is really good between going from like, uh, you know, like the hook is always like the fucking take the song and boil it down into like the crack cocaine version of the message, you know, and then like he'll kind of develop it more in the verse, and the verse is kind of like setting up, you know, it's kind of like setting up, like let's say the chorus is like, you know, the one sentence like Twitter version of whatever it is that you got to say, and then the verse will kind of be providing context, and then the bridge will be exploring a longer version of the sentiment that's in the hook, you know. So he kind of like, I don't know where he studied this or what, but he's really tight, and he's really able to kind of like make sure that each of the different sections are fitting into the overall narrative of the vocal. So he's really good at that. He might have some resources and stuff, and yeah, he's definitely one to talk to. So go see how good he is at explaining stuff, and get back to me, and maybe I'll make him a dojo mentor for songwriting and stuff, because he's really good.
Okay.
But yeah, if you could spy on him and see if he'd make a good mentor.
Okay.
Because I have a couple other people that, but that's definitely like having someone who's specifically like songwriting for vocalists, I think would really benefit the dojo. So that's a great point.
So, do you think like my goals for at least the first half of next year, just kind of forget the tour thing? It's just because I really want to, but I know that it's preempted and I'm ready.
There's no reason why you can't be playing local shows. You know, there's like a ton of different like, I mean, like a lot of my New York friends, they play every week in New York, and you know, it's yeah. There's Lexi's over in the background there.
Oh,
yeah.
Lexi, finally we meet, and we live both near the Central M.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Actually, here I'm gonna turn on the. Here, I'm gonna go take this off of studio mode so you can. She can't hear you just now, so just there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, now you can say hi.
Hi. Hey, Lexi, good to meet you. It's Mary. So you live near the Central M?
I do.
Me too. I'm on Stanhope.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Yeah. Close and yet so far. Here we are.
3-minute walk.
Anyway, there you go. Small world. Crazy.
Yeah, real small world. But yeah, there's definitely like, you know, there's a lot of like in terms of actually like streamlining the, because with a live show, a lot of it is the performance, yeah, for sure. But so much of performing live is just fucking troubleshooting, you know? And same thing with DJing. Like, it's not really that hard to learn how to DJ, but you know, your troubleshooting game has got to be on point, because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. There's wasted idiots everywhere. A lot of clubs have terrible sound systems, and like things break. You forget cables, you know, all that stuff, right? And I think like, you know, if you're doing like a bunch of kind of like local gigs that that are not like, they're not like so you know, it's not like a hard ticket thing where there's so much pressure. I think it'll really help you to tech out your rig and troubleshoot and just make sure that it's lean and mean and nothing's going to break live and all that. So I would say definitely like, you know, start doing that ASAP. But in terms of setting up a tour, you know, it's definitely like you're going to really need to show promoters that there's draw.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah.
How much time are you, well, I mean, I guess there are seasons, but I'm thinking about, in your experience, teaching online and doing dojo while you're also writing, while you're also releasing, while you're also performing. How much time do you spend writing and working on your tracks or producing for your
I mean, when it is a day that I'm in the studio, I'll do like a 12, 14-hour day, you know, like no problem. And usually I'll do like 2 or 3 of those back to back, and it's like really grueling, and I'm fucking dying by the end. But I'll get it done. But then, I mean, I'd say I probably spend about at least 2 of those 12-hour days a week writing. And then, I probably have like a full day of dojo stuff once per week at least. And then, I kind of have a few of these smaller sessions. Like every night I get a nighttime session in there no matter what. But
nighttime session, do you mean what?
Like just
yourself?
Yeah, just by myself, like trying out new things, watching tutorials, experimenting, doing sound design, like anything that's not like writing. I'll do in these kind of shorter nighttime sessions. But then when I write, it's like I'm up early, lots of coffee, no weed, like just 12-hour fucking cranking.
How early is early? I'm just curious.
For me, early is like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
Yeah, but then, and then the weekends, it's like, that takes 3 days of my week, because there's like the day coming back too, where I'm pretty much just twiddling my thumbs on the airplane. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I normally get like 2 full days minimum in the studio per week writing. But sometimes more, depends on what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend at least one full fucking 12-hour day a week if you can do it.
Yeah, I have Fridays set off for studio days, but I just need to be better. I don't know, get more done. But yeah, all right, cool.
Did you watch the weekly downloads about vocals? I did like a big series of 5 weekly downloads about vocals if you count the granular vocal one.
I saw 2 of the vocal ones and I took notes. And then at that point, it was what, like a month ago or a little bit more. At that point, I was like, I just need to get in, like go hire my friend that worked in the past and get in the studio and have him help me get my ideas out of my head and into the track and mixing for the Apollo track.
Are you doing that layout with the one verse down the middle and then the backup's like, and then the 5 for the chorus?
Yeah, the template, yeah.
Yeah, because that layout, when you're recording to fit that template, you really get a way better results, I find.
Yeah, so I have been doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you don't have any versions of the new stuff for me to check out? Because I'd really love to hear kind of like where you're at on some of these new tunes.
I would have to go in and like bounce them and clean them up a bit before sending them to you. And I think it'd be better for your time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't mind to check it out and give you some written feedback on those. So if you just give me an email with those, because really kind of just knowing where you're at with that, I think is really going to help with the whole, put the whole bigger picture.
Thanks. So a question about that, because some of them are more done than others. Should I send you everything that I have, and then you could just scrub through certain points? Obviously, you're not going to go. You don't have time to go and sit through, listen to everything. And I could be like, this track is done.
A couple ones that you're like, this one's done, and then if you have any like new ones that you're like, oh, that's the hot shit, even though it's not done, like this one will become a single or whatever. Like any of the ones that you think are like the jam, if they're not done. But if they're just like sketches or whatever, it's hard for me to say much other than you need to finish this.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
But yeah, because I think really like getting the music to the point where you're like, I love this. Like I'm really happy with this, and this is like 100% ready to go. I'm ready to sign off on this, and then really like once you have a couple that you're like, okay, this is going to be a single, this is going to be a single, those are ready, then I'd say probably start to shop for remixers for your remix EP, because a lot of the time, like I mean, some of the bigger names that I've gotten for remixers, they're all people that like if they don't really care about the track, you'd have to pay them a ton of money. But if you know them and you show them the track and they like it, then a lot of the time you can get them to do it because they like your track, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you know, so I think really getting a couple that are like singles that are like really like your strongest work, it's just as good as it can be, and really, you know, get some stuff that's going to make people excited to remix it. And then it's probably going to take a while to get your stable of remixers together, but you know, I think like doing some remix EPs will really help, because a lot of the time too when you do remix EPs, like if you go see like Alina George, for example.
I'm seeing her tomorrow night.
Oh, yes.
And do you know, I went on a retreat with her last December with Laura.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love her music. She's great. But you know, like that DJ Snake remix, you know, that kind of like became the default instrumental for like when she performs it live, she performs it over the DJ Snake version, you know? And like
Yeah.
these like when you hand out stuff to remixers, you're gonna get some like probably some really fire remixes back, and then you can get them to render you what's called a TV instrumental, which is where you have basically like it's an instrumental and it has all the backup vocals in it, but just no lead vocal. So then you only it's got only the lead vocal missing, and then when you perform it, you still have all the backups like mixed and mastered into the instrumental. So you can get your remixers to give you a TV instrumental for their remix, or even maybe make a medley. You know, like a lot of the time, like with More T, for example, when I play my track More T, I do like 3 of the remixes together in a medley, and it really like, you know, it's just like cool because you're not hearing the just straight up file that you have on your hard drive from that artist, you know. So I think like doing some of these remix projects, it'll help you get more material for your show, and it'll help you kind of out with fan outreach and just be generating more organic SoundCloud traffic and organic Spotify traffic. So that I would say that's definitely something to like, if you are planning on doing a live show and a live tour, that's something you should start pursuing right away. But I want to see those, like, what are those singles? Like, what are you going to be showing to remixers? And, you know, like those singles, you really got to make sure people are like ready to have that track as their alarm clock, and they therefore need the download, and then they're gonna follow you for it. You know, so really getting those like just 1, 2, maybe 3 tracks that are just like shit hot, like amazing fucking tracks. And really the whole thing is kind of based on the strength of those tracks. So albums are cool, but especially when you're just starting out, it's really just like, you know, it's like starting a fire, you know, you got to get all the kindling and the fire built and everything, but it's just like what's, you know, getting that first match to light to start the whole thing. So you need to like build the fire for sure, but what's the match, you know? So
got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
yeah. And then but yeah, your Alarke branding is good though. I really dig the logo. It's cool.
Okay.
And your website looks great too, with the video background and stuff. Like it looks super pro. Like that looks like a big artist website. It's great.
Thanks. Yeah.
So that's
okay.
helpful. One thing though that I'm kind of seeing, your website doesn't have any call to action on it.
Which one, Alarke or Mary Alouette, or both?
Website. Well, let's check the Mary Alouette one. Yeah, I'm not. It's there's sign up for my newsletter at the bottom on the Mary Alouette one, which is good, but you want to have that call to action be like front and center on the website. You know?
Yeah.
Because people don't do stuff like, people will just come to your website and be like, oh, she's cool, and then just leave, right? So you want to like, hey, follow me on SoundCloud, give me your email address, you know, that kind of stuff, and just
so I
make sure that you have some kind of a call to action on the website.
Okay, I did this. Where's the chat here?
How about your email list? you have a email list that you're maintaining?
Yeah, I just sent you a link in the chat because I have these opt-ins that I'm trying to build my teaching online. So I have an email list of about 300 people, but probably like 60 people
Hey, you're in
open the
you're in the Head
emails.
Stripe Club.
The
Yeah,
what?
you're in the Hair Stripe Club on your photo.
Oh, yeah. I had so much fun. I would get like new designs every 3 weeks. And one time I went to this one guy in Clinton Hill. His name was Capone. And he was like a gangster. He would have this YouTube channel with all these illegal weapons. And one time this one guy pissed this one person, this separate situation, was kind of a jackass and like stole my money over a rent situation. And he'd be like, something, I was like, Mark, I want my money back. He's like, it's not my problem. And I'm like, I need to get Capone to break his legs. And I'd be like, Mary, I can't walk. And I'd be like, it's not my problem. But anyways, the head shape thing, I need like Capone, my gangster.
Gangsta hairdresser. Nice.
I had that and extensions and all this stuff. I just have fun. Now I'm just playing around
with your hair.
So,
As a musician, you don't want to look like you're ready to do your taxes up there.
yeah, email takes one to know one.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so those opt-ins are good. I just I think getting those opt-ins kind of front and center, and just getting some like asks front and center on your socials. You know, make them look good, and definitely like but really feature like, hey, I want to give you this thing. Give me your email address. And if you have like in terms of for your songwriting lessons and stuff, if you have like even like because your songwriting thing, it's saying, you know, do you wanna like it's you're offering them your music, but if you have like if you make like a little PDF file that has like 5 top tips for songwriters.
Oh, did you see all of my did you see all of the links I sent you? I sent you 3 links now. They're like all different landing pages that I send.
Yeah.
One is with my own music, one is a video on songwriting where I teach them, and one is like a singing exercises.
Good. You're already doing that. Yeah, because you always gotta like give people something for free to opt in, and then once they see that the value is in that free thing, then they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to hire this person, you know. But definitely always have like free stuff to make people excited and show them that you know your shit.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. So how long have you been doing vocal coaching and stuff?
12 years.
Wow.
I'm accredited with New York. I mean, I've been like performing vocals professionally for 25, but I've been working teaching vocals for 12 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Really cool. Is that like a big chunk of your income?
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you know, if you like, I mean, we're the dojo infrastructure is kind of expanding, but if you want to get like a book a lesson thing on your profile, we could like once you've had releases on the dojo label, then you can make a profile, make a store and stuff, and then we can start getting you lessons, because there's definitely you know, there's a lot of vocalists who who should definitely be getting more lessons and stuff in the dojo. And I've been doing vocals lately, so I could maybe use some coaching too.
Yeah.
Definitely get you up there before too long. We're rolling out this new belt system really soon, where there's like kind of like different belts unlock different levels of stuff. And the profiles are unlocked at red belt, which you get from releasing something on one of the mixtapes.
Okay, that would be something I'm aiming for.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, and then we can get your profile and you can start selling stuff. You could also probably do a sample pack. I bet people are always looking for vocal samples. So
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
There's this one singer on Splice named Kara, Karra, and she has really good vocals that she puts up there. So I was thinking like, oh, okay, just as an example of something I could do mine.
Yeah, vocal sound packs always do pretty well. People always need vocals, especially you know, especially like for sound design, like vocals that don't have lyrics, that are just like nice voice tones. You know, I'm always looking for that for sound design. But yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, so yeah, I guess the rest of the feedback would just be from listening to your tracks and just figuring out, like, you know, what are going to be the main like lead tracks, and that. But I would say do like a couple remix EPs for your main singles in advance of the album. Could potentially be something that you do with the dojo, and you know, it's often. I mean, remix contests kind of, you usually need like a bit of a big fan base to start a remix contest. Like, it's not like you don't see a lot of like up and coming artists doing remix contests, but if you end up doing vocals on a more established artist's track, then that can be an option. But I would say definitely like, I mean, the Hyro thing is a potential avenue for that. But if you know any bigger artists, it's like worth doing tracks for them for free, just to like get your name out and to get, you know, building your profile and start getting some organic traffic from the associated artist algorithms on Spotify and SoundCloud and everything.
What's happening with that Hyro stuff, or that one track?
Well, we're actually in the middle of doing the vocal mix for it today. We just took a break to do a lesson, so that's why Lexi's here politely waiting in the background. So we're actually doing that today. But the rest of the mixtapes, like so far we've got 4 of the Hyro vocals back, but working with crews of rappers is like herding cats, and also complicated. Dell was performing with Gorillaz. You can watch the video on there.
I saw it when he fell off the stage.
He still has not been in the studio since that, because I mean, he's got a punctured fucking lung. But he broke 4 ribs and punctured his lung, so really a bad fall. So yeah, so we're kind of like, I mean, we could, like, some of the vocals that we've got back are great, and I'm really excited about the 4 tracks, but you know, we really want to get Dell in the mixtape, so we're basically waiting for Dell to get in the studio again. And it's Dell, so if we put too much pressure on him, he'll be like, you know what, fuck you guys. So
yeah,
I'm trying to, like, you know, politely encourage them to
Dylan.
I hung out
Dylan.
With,
yeah. You said like working with all these rappers is like herding a group of cats, and I just sent you this YouTube link for when Conan O'Brien makes a boy band, and he rewards them like in the studio with different little like Ritz crackers, and he's the producer in this VH1 type of testimonial booth, and I feel like that's you with them.
yeah, pretty much.
So if you want a little pick me up, there's that YouTube video.
Yeah, it's still definitely happening. It's just taking some time, but it's like, it's worth doing right, you know, rather than trying to rush it, I think. And I think it's really going to be a big thing for the dojo. And then we have actually some other really big name rappers are going to be on the label that I don't want to say too much about on the live stream, but it's pretty exciting. There are more exciting big rappers going to be on the dojo label. So suddenly I'm on a rap label. But hey, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay, cool. So, questions? Why you got me here?
What? I guess the biggest questions I have right now are about time management.
Okay.
Right. I mean, well, I don't really have any more questions so much. I just implement what you said. But, well, actually, I do have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
So, like, let's say in January, I'm taking a lesson in the dojo. what should I be focused on in my lessons? Because I really just want to focus on my songwriting, or unless I can get Daniel to take lessons with him.
Yeah, I would say like hit up Daniel and check it out. I'll call him after this. And just say, because I mean, he's really got a handle on songwriting. Like his shit is really tight, and the record that he's working on for the Dojo label is going to be like a pop record, and it's fucking great. So I really want to be kind of like leaning more, like, because I, like I love my style of music, and a lot of the people in the dojo like making like weird like festival ketamine dance music strangeness, which is great. But production is production, songwriting is songwriting, and it's kind of like I'm really trying to, as an educational entity, trying to not be pigeonholed by my own personal musical style. So I'm definitely going to be doing like more rap, more pop stuff, more house music, more just like all kinds of genres of music. Because I mean, and so. Yeah, but this record Daniel's working on is really strong, and it's very, very much like a pop record. But check out his song "Guard" is like a pretty good example of where he's at. But yeah, his songwriting is really strong, and he's a great vocalist. But yeah, I'll call him after and see. Like he's in the middle of moving now, so I want to just like I'm not sure kind of where he's at, but. I'll contact him, but definitely like he would be a good person to talk to about that. And I think he definitely has the chops to be doing it, but I've never done a lesson with him, But he definitely has the skills.
Okay, we're checking out. Maybe he would be interested, even if it was just like 1 hour a month. I don't know. For me, I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
it's worth it.
In terms of like arrangement and stuff, I mean, Mitch is really good with melodies and arrangement.
That's another good one.
Have you done a lesson with Mitch?
No.
Because he's like, if you check out his record on the dojo, like that tune he did, Blur. It's like a vocal tune. Fuck, it's good. Like it's really, really tight. But he's got a really good handle on melodies and arrangement, and I typically send people to him in terms of like learning like song structure and melodies and arrangement. So he would definitely be a good person to talk to, because he's done a lot of vocal tracks, and he's also really got a handle on melodic structure. So he would definitely be a good person to talk to about that. Sean is a really good teacher and a really good communicator, but he's like kind of more focused on like making like left field stuff. So it might not really be what you're after, but
yeah, because we've been doing more production, which I've been learning a lot. It's just
his mixing is amazing. He's really good at mixing.
Yeah, but if we're just thinking about what is the priority for where I am in this moment, it's working on melodies and arrangements and stuff.
Yeah, so I'd say as far as the people who are actually like already dojo instructors, Mitch would be the one to talk to. But I'm gonna talk to Daniel, because he's really good. Like he comes over here all the time, and I give him like extra private lessons and stuff because he's just awesome. So I really believe in his music and his his whole project. So
cool.
I'll call him after this. I'll see if I can get him to do like a specific thing, but that would be like outside of the, like, until I get him as a dojo instructor. That'd be just, you arrange it in between the two of you. But I think I could probably get him as a vocal coach and instructor, and just for songwriting, because he's like, in terms of his like not really weak, but in terms of his areas that he's focusing on improving, he's really focusing on just production right now. But that's because he's got like songwriting and lyrics and stuff like in the bag,
Cool. Which is good to learn from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's great. He's just a real natural with that kind of stuff,
Cool.
Yeah.
Other things, I've been thinking about making a trip out to LA next year. I know I talked to you about that a while ago,
nice.
just order of events and situations. So I want to try to do that. was even thinking about moving to LA. Who knows?
Yeah, LA is
definitely come visit.
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, yeah, let me know when you come visit. You can come hang at the dojo.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, awesome. Okay, so yeah, and then in terms of like time management, I'd have to really hear those first like couple singles, because that's really, I think, where your focus should be, is on just like making a couple singles that are just like the best work you can possibly do, because it's like it all comes down to the strength of that. Like no amount of marketing can really make up for if the single's not there.
Can't polish a turd.
Exactly. And people are really good at ignoring marketing. Like look at the Emoji Movie, like that was
yeah.
Like they had like 50-foot high Times Square ads everywhere, and like nobody saw that movie.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, it's just one other thing about the songwriting stuff. Because the tracks, I want them to be dancey electronic songs. So I can work on the arrangements and the melodies, but then I can go get feedback. But currently, I'm just kind of Frankensteining the production together because it's not my focus, and I'm thinking about time. And so time, I'm like, okay, I'll just put that to the side so I can focus on the vocals. But
it'd be really awesome if you had like a producer who's like part of the project, because I think like if you're outsourcing all this stuff all the time, it's kind of like gonna get really expensive, especially like when it comes to going that last 20%. Like it's a lot of time investment, and if you had a producer who is like gonna get like equity on the tracks that you write, as opposed to just doing work for hire, that might be a better option. Like if you have like a producer who's like part of your band, pretty much, at least within the scope of a given thing, because it's just like if you're just hiring it out all the time and renting studio time all the time, it just gets really fucking expensive.
I agree. So what do I do with these songs that are already started? Do I?
I'll check them out.
It's worth it to keep it, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, you really only like, if you're like, in terms of investing money and time into finishing these songs, like, I don't know if I don't know if you need like a whole album to start, like I think just
agreed.
Like better to have a really, really strong 4-track EP where everything on it is just the best work you can do, rather than releasing an album. Like a lot of artists, they'll blow up before they've even released an album, and then because like the album, like you do singles and EPs to grow your fan base, and then the album is kind of like the reward for your fans,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think like working on doing like singles, remix EPs, and then after that a full 4-track solo EP, that's probably more important than releasing an album right now. Like a lot of people, like when they're hobbyists, and they don't really care about growing their career, they'll go right for the album, and that's fine. But if you're actually trying to play shows and get fans and stuff, hot singles and followed by an EP, that you create the demand for the EP by releasing these singles and remix EPs, and then once you have a fan base that's like, give us the album, then you come with the album.
Got it. Cool. Those are all my questions right now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so send me those single candidates, and then just like just show me what you got. All right.
Lord, the dojo Lord.
Yeah.
Another question is, so this call is live, so will there be a recording I can go back and watch?
Yeah, the recording. I'm not gonna make it private on my YouTube. I'll just leave it up and you can grab it. I was kind of like bringing them all into the dojo, but it's just so goddamn time consuming to download like 12 hours of live streams and put them in and stuff. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just leave them up.
Okay, so I can find this on YouTube.
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube and the uploads.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, it was great to catch up.
Likewise. Thank you so much for your time. It's so valuable. I really appreciate it.
Keep hustling.
What?
Keep hustling.
I will. Oh, wait, real quick, I want to tell you, last weekend I did this psychedelic plant ceremony, and it was like one of the best nights of my life.
Awesome.
I just thought you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, very good. That's
ayahuasca.
Yeah, that really, I still haven't done ayahuasca, but a lot of my friends who are artists or musicians said it was like just pivotal. So
it was. Well, this is ayahuasca plus mushrooms.
Whoa.
Ayahuasca.
Fancy.
My face was melting, but I was playing around with it in space and these abstract shapes. But then also, I had all of these, I had questions and intentions that got answered. And also about like spirituality, like I'm not afraid of things anymore because I'm now aware of I'm alive throughout eternity. And this is just one existence that I've chosen. Anyway, so it was pretty cool.
That's great. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Talk soon. Peace.
Bye. Bye, Lexi. Bye. Bye, other guy.
That's Greg. Awesome.
Bye, Greg.
Grounded.
Cool.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.